Well, I'm officially live right now. According to the email from YouTube and StreamYard. Hey, what's up? Did you get enough warning there, Drew? Is that enough for you? Boy. Got a stack of Nebraska Cornhuskers football cards for you somewhere, Drew. See what we can do about that, huh? What's up, TJ? How are you? Bo, how are you? There will be Bitcoin updates in this video. Mark Hoyle, how are you? I was thinking today about giving everybody in my family an NFTs for Christmas because they wouldn't even know if they had them, wouldn't know what they were worth, but they would think that I put a lot of thought and effort into the gift. So that's still on the table. I bought some cards yesterday, and if you look on here, I don't know how well you guys can see the screen, but this is how I log stuff into Beckett OPG. And I made light of the fact that the collection I bought, let's see if I can stop sharing for a second here. Maybe I could soloize myself. Problem with having two mouses or sharing a screen is you don't know which screen the mouse is on. So you guys thought I was kidding, but there was a person out there who was top loading their David Need cards, and a little frustrating for a while because that's what was on top of the collection. Brian Harvey apparently worthy of that as well. Olerud, Tony Pena. We talked about Tony Pena last week, right? There's our boy right there. He's got both cheeks off the dirt right there. But anyway, one of the things about buying collections is seeing kind of the history. It's like cutting a tree and counting the rings. When you see what was important to people at the time, we talk about speculation and all that fun stuff. Mike Felder, remember how important it was for him to get him into a top loader. Bunch of Juan Gonzalez, Delgado, good players for sure, but this guy's still considered darling by some people, Will Clark. But anyway, a lot of effort went into top loading your Nigel Wilsons of the world. So anyway, these cards, I've got a lot of these cards. These were kind of put off to the side because, as with anything, you'd like to get to the good stuff. So I bought a collection from my LCS, oddly enough, that had sat in the front of the store for months. No exaggeration, 6 months it sat in there. Tony, you may have even seen it inadvertently when you were there. But a bunch of tubs, 3 tubs, a big box, bigger than all the tubs of cards. It said fresh eggs or said fresh eggs on the side of the cardboard. And I picked through it, looked through it a while. The guy dropped it off to get it looked at and to get a offer from the LCS owner. And I kept saying, "What's going on with these cards? What's going on with these cards?" And kept saying the guy hasn't come back yet. So I told him, "Well, let me know. I'll buy him if you don't buy him." So anyway, the LCS finally bought him about a week ago, and I know what he paid for him. I have an interesting relationship with my LCS owner. He tells me this stuff, and I've made a lot of deals knowing that that's the basement price-wise. So this collection contained dozens, and I'm not exaggerating, dozens of these with cards in them. Probably about 2 dozen of these. Some of them came stacked up with top loaders. Some of them were just simply said 92 Donruss, which was apropos considering their baby wipes. So 92 Upper Deck, 93 Upper Deck, 93 Fleer. So why would I buy that stuff? Well, there was enough good stuff in there, obviously. But I have over there, most of you see my background, I have boxes and boxes and boxes, monster boxes of sets that are incomplete from all years, I guess. So You don't find yourself at a card show or on eBay looking for 93 Fleer Commons or 94 Fleer Commons. So the best way to kind of fill out those sets is to buy bulk junk wax era stuff. Now this collection is unlike any I've ever purchased. I bought a lot of junk wax stuff with a little bit of vintage thrown in. Um, the things that appealed to me in this set were stuff like this. This is Will's cigarettes, musical celebrities. These are made in England, so these are from the 20s, I guess, right? So there was some of that stuff in there. Anyway, knew a lot of the stuff that was in there because, like I said, I'd pick through it. LCS calls me saying, "Hey, I can work out a deal with you for this stuff." Now I know what he paid for it. I had already made him an offer, so he threw in some other stuff. Including some things that I've been looking at for a while, which I joked about this on Twitter, but these are Ogden's horse cards, thoroughbred horses. A lot of stuff like that, stuff he knows that I like. He threw in a bunch of exhibit cards. I talked to Mark Hoyle about that offline. I don't know enough about exhibit cards to want to really get into that wrestle and match. But anyway, essentially, I paid for that massive collection and everything that I've looked at in the store that he really can't sell. Stuff like, vintage football stuff, the 61 Fleer stuff. So I got a lot of that. Got a lot of the 60 Fleers. So these will probably, even though I have every one of these cards in my hand, I'll look to see if these are upgrades. These are in great condition. There's old Cornelius McGillicuddy. Great condition. So first thing is we'll see who is an upgrade. And then if you know, who is an upgrade. And then if these are all good, then I will send these to the eBay and recoup some of my money. So LCS says you can have everything in there except for this. Just shows you what kind of stuff was in there. He had a couple of the he had a Willie Mays booklet, little I think it's 70 Mark Hoyle. Correct me if I'm wrong, and the 71 coin of Willie Mays. And he also wanted to keep this, but I insisted that he throw this in there as part of the deal. So I got the Jeter SP, right? A little bit of everything in there: horses, artists, all that stuff. But I got a whole bunch more, and let me go to the chat because maybe I'll take requests. If you folks tell me a genre, I will try to pull it out of that collection, which is kind of crazy. So let me go back here in time, see what's going on. We got our Drew, our Tony, our Mark Hoyle. Hey, Scott, what's up? Mark Hoyle was helping me with some of the exhibits, but man, I'm still kind of confused. Let me go get the exhibits. How's that sound? So when I go through my cards, again, look over here. I'll look on Beckett OPG. So let me present real quick. I know I promised you guys some exhibit cards, but I'll look at Beckett OPG and I'll look at my see what I have. And of course, this is the 92-93 Ultra Basketball. And these are kind of grayed out right here. That means I already have them. Let me see if I can find an example of a card I don't have. So this is an example of a card I don't have. It's green as opposed to gray. And of course, that's a Shaq rookie. Not a big deal. He had like 300 of them. But anyway, I look to see if the stuff is in there first. So exhibits, right? This was a unique one, right? Norm Cash. Let me get back out of this. So this was the easy one, and thanks to Inspector Hoyle and Inspector Stuke, I was able to figure this one out real quick. Norm Cash got the stats on the back. Got George Kell, and apparently Mark Hoyle sent me a little table that if you look at the bottom there, the inscription, you can tell what year it's from. I'm still confused. This Bob Lemon one apparently is pretty valuable. I know Bob Lemon has some pitching and some hitting ones because he was a hitter prior to becoming a pitcher. Not a lot of people know that. Enos Slaughter. God damn, excuse my language. Here is Kowalski, right? I forget what his name is. Hank or something? I don't know. He's a hitter from the St. Louis Cardinals. Elston Howard and Don Newcomb. Nice Nuke right there and a Pee Wee Reese. So got those, but I also got 3 Duke Snyders, which look exactly the same to me, but they're not because his hat's cut off. And before you say it, Scott, none of them say LA on the top as far as I can tell, but it's kind of odd that this guy has his hat completely cut off. This guy has his hat almost cut off, and this guy has his hat complete. So exhibits, they vex me, and I'm glad I got them as part of the deal. I'm not too happy about trying to figure my way out with those things. So yeah, let's get back to the chat. Brent, good evening. How are you? Or afternoon? I'm not sure. The Huggies collection. There are, like I said, I haven't had kids in diapers since 2004. So my trash guy, it is trash night tonight, Bo. My trash guy is going to be pretty surprised tomorrow when he dumps out the trash and there's dozens of Huggies boxes in the trash. The Huggy collection, yep. Dak Prescott, as I called him, Dak Testaverde. Hey, what's up, Dan? Hello from Korea. Good morning to you. You're up early, I guess. What's up, Don? You heard artists. I have horse cards. I have artists. And I bought from Mike O. Let me see what I got from Mike O. Here's 1927 birds, if you're into that thing. And not the Philadelphia Eagles kind, but just a complete set of birds right there. So picked that up from Mike O recently. So there's a little bit something for everybody. Hey, Orlando, how are you, sir? Peeps, good morning. Afternoon, Peeps. You need to email me because I have a whole lot of vintage hockey cards and I don't have a lot of people to share them with. So you might want to reach out if you want to get some of mine. So, okay. Yeah, there was Scott, I'm finally caught up in the chat, I believe. No Koufax exhibit, sorry. Scott, I did notice that in Beckett does say, let's see here. Such suspense. Yeah, Beckett will say that ball partially showing or ball not showing. So I do have a partially showing ball right there, I believe. I consider that partially showing as opposed to not showing at all. Maybe you can be the judge on that, but I believe that is the case there. Partial show. If you look at the exhibits, I don't know whether you folks hang out in Beckett OPG, but boy, it is confusing as all get out. Let's see here. What year did we say those were? 1947, was it? 1947 to 1966. I'll share this real quick here. Present, share screen, bam, boom. So here's the exhibits. And if I look up, let's see here, Reese. So if you look up Pee Wee Reese there, it has ball visible along the bottom border, ball not visible at all. So it is a deep rabbit hole. So I, as you can tell, have grayed out ball visible along bottom border. I'm confident that that's the case there. Teddy Ball Game has an early exhibit card where number 9 shows and doesn't show. I'm not quite sure. Man, I've told Mark Hoyle the other day that I've never bought these because of obviously they've become quite in vogue and they're expensive now. But I also Scott, your story from the Dallas Card Show where the vendor that we all know put them out there as reprints, and you've proven that they aren't reprints. So I have no idea what's going on. So I'm going to try to stay away from that. Yeah, they were, Scott can tell you, they were exhibit vending machines, which is pretty cool. So what I'm going to do right here, in case anybody wants to pop on, I'm going to put the link in the chat there. If you guys want to come on, just let me know. Otherwise, I'll still kind of share stuff as you guys chat amongst yourselves. They came in cello packs as well. Gotcha. Now, what's the deal with the reprints? Why did we have reprints and how were those distributed? I know everything was remade in the 80s, but like who reprinted them? Was it Exhibit or was it somebody else, Scott, if you know? Birds, snakes, and airplanes. Let's see what else we can find here. All right, so here's a question for you so-called experts out there. So ended up with some Topps supers. Here's some 70s. And like the baseball ones, if you haven't seen the football ones, the backs have the same color as the 1970 Topps football as well. Love them. They're still just as thick. So I ended up with some more 70s. I think I have most of these 1970s or many of these, but Pete Rose was in there. Johnny Lee Bench was in there. Bob Gibson, Frank Howard, Phil Niekro with a K, Tony Oliva, Vada Pinson. For some reason, that's an expensive one. And Lou Piniella. Now, here's the question I have. How common is it, and why did I end up with some square ones? Right? So here's Tony Oliva. There's Phil Niekro. How did I end up with ones that were squared off? I'm not that well versed in these, even though I have a lot. It's the first time I've seen the squared off, almost like they were cut out of the sheet. So I have the bench, and I have the Tony Oliva. All right. So if anybody knows that answer, reach out to me, please, because I saw those right off the bat when I saw the collection previously. I hadn't seen squared off 70 Topps supers, but here we are. Let's see here. So I took a picture of this and put it on Twitter. This was in one of the Huggies boxes that I was that was at the bottom of a box. Yeah, some kind of proof, you think, Dan? I think. And good evening, Dan. How are you? Yeah, it's weird, huh? I mean, you can kind of see the lines on that thing where obviously they should be rounded off. But anyway, the great thing is I don't care what they're worth because they're not going anywhere, right? So I actually have the Rose. I'm sorry, I don't think I have the Oliva already, but I do have the bench already, but it's going to be fun. I'll have two of them now, one rounded, one not so rounded. So in Huggy box number 19, at the bottom of the blue bin, I showed this picture yesterday. I found a boatload of cards, and I have all these, but it's fun. That'll go in the book of Yaz, by the way. These will be other ones that I just end up replacing conditionally wise if my collection is in need of it. So anyway, this is the kind of crap you find in Huggies bins. Ryan saves the day. Ryan saves the day again. There's another Nolan Ryan there. Another Nolan Ryan. Seaver. It just goes on, man. So there was all these. This one's a little beat up. The second best third baseman of all time. A little beat up right there. But got some cool stuff. Caru's a beater. Here's a George Blanda. I think I have this, but I have to check. A nice 75 Nolan Ryan. It's actually in pretty good shape. So this is the kind of crap you find, Hank at Veteran Stadium playing first base. Let me see. Is that a high number? I thought all the All-Stars were together. Were they not, Dan? The 69 All-Stars. Where's that bench? That would have been a card 430. So I like those All-Star cards. I'm not a big fan of the 69 set because of expansion led to a lot of airbrushing. But those All-Star cards are pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, look, Rose, there's just so many. There was a bunch of 72s, but there's a bunch of 72 high numbers. Of course, there's a bunch of these Baltimore Orioles. Oh, look at that. Didn't realize that was in there. McCovey. All the big boys are in there. Carew. Fingers, Mays. This was, of course, again, along with the 68 Yaz, this is, somebody's looking out for me up there. Obviously, they'll go in the book of Yaz. More stuff, of course, greatest player of the 1970s. I always say, look at that arm on that boy, man. Jeez, kill you. Steve from Mars, Brooks Robinson, some more Carews, all that stuff. So that was in one of the Huggies boxes, all duplicates, but condition upgrades, hopefully, for some of them. And let me see if I can find a binder. Let me see here. Hey, Harlan, what's up, man? Guess what? I drove by on Thursday. I drove by a sign that said Berkeley Springs. And I didn't stop because it was 1 a.m. and I had just finished. I picked my son up at school, so I started in Nashville at 8 a.m. on Thursday and got home to Pennsylvania at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. in the morning. So this is fun, right? Where else can you find a bunch of 1973? Hey, that guy's an impossible dreamer right there, Jim Lonborg. Bunch of 73 cards and 74s, 75s, and then we get right into the Burger King year and the Fleer and all that stuff. So just goes to show you again how people collect. Very unique, very interesting. So not only did I get a bunch of nice cards out of this, but I also got a nice a couple binders. TJ, check this out. This is from this was in the binder as well. It turns out this guy, I've looked at the address on a lot of this stuff in here, and this guy that had this collection grew up in the same school district that I lived in. So these are from the Mike Schmidt tribute night against the Atlanta Braves, May 26, 1990. $4 these cost. WMMR rock and roll station in Philadelphia. So pretty neat seeing that in there. Again, everything got all sorts of stuff in here. Now I have some other stuff that I didn't want to show because some people are getting those as gifts for Christmas. So I'm not going to show everything here. But there's a bunch of Cracker Jacks, and I'm talking about like the 1980s variety or 90s variety Cracker Jacks still in their packages in there. Another binder. Let's see here. This is all Leafs. So here's the little Cracker Jacks, right? So there's a nice little Eddie Plank Cracker Jack, small guy. There's also a Connie Mack in there. A bunch of 93 Leaf, Stadium Club. Nothing too fun about that binder. Let's see here. I got about 6 binders in total. I just breezed through these. I didn't really look at them much. Here's some Bowmans, some Score Select, some Pinnacles. No one cares. Some Ted Williams, 1993 Ted Williams in there. What do we got here? Oh, here we go. Check this out, maybe. Let's see if I can bring the camera down. Here's some 1965s, some 68s. Who's that? Yes, there's some Sandy Koufax 66. So here's a binder full of stuff. Some 68s, Rich Nye, great Cubs player, of course. Anyway, there's a lot of 60s, 69s, 70s in there. Fergie Jenkins, all sorts of fun stuff in there. There's McCovey, there's DB Cooper, all that stuff. So look through these. I'll see what's condition, what works for me condition-wise. There's a bunch of high number. I believe there's some high-ish number 71s in here. It goes up to 748, and then same with the 72s. Well, no, they don't go up to the high number. So a bunch of stuff in there. I'll look at that, go through that, and see what is needs to go into my collection. There's a Mickey Mantle checklist. It's got Scott Table on it. What do we got here? So much stuff I couldn't even go through. Check this out. That's a nice little full-size Dennis Eckersley. If you're I don't know who's claiming Dennis Eckersley. Red Sox people, Indians people, or A's people. But somebody's got them. Here's some 73 Topps football looking cards. I got to do some more research on those. I'm sure they came out of a magazine. Lenny Dykstra. Here's the stamps, football stamps. I have to look through these. I got a bunch of these, man. I got a bunch of the football stamp stuff. Somewhere around here, there's even more. I've got like hundreds, if not thousands, of these little stamp Johns going. And posters, Topps posters as well, football. So I have to look at those. I think I have all those sets of the posters. So condition, we'll check that out. And if not, put them on eBay. Red Sox Impossible Dream. Long drive. Yes, Harlan, it was, but it's worth it. I don't know how many more drives I have with my son. So he's a senior at Virginia Tech. So yeah, it was worth it. I was in Nashville doing some training, and my son said, "Hey," my son ran into a bit of an issue, which I'll explain to people in person. Red light, what's up, man? And so I had to go pick him up. And it's worth it. It was worth it. My son asked me to stay over at his apartment, but I said, "Wouldn't you rather be at home?" I know I would be. So we drove up there. But I did think of you, Harlan, as we drove by, for sure. Stuke says, "I'm not sure about all the reprints. The guys that bought the exhibit company labeled same 1980, and others had a significant difference than the originals. Even the originals have a difference within themselves. So retail supers were always rounded, most likely a proof. I think Dan said that, and Mark said that. Square cornered proof. Boy, that's a 3 for 3. So it's definitely the Henry Aaron people are chiming in and saying it's also a proof. It's a very nice proof, even if it's not a proof, says Tony. Tony, I was at the Eagles store the other day because since I flew to Nashville, I had to go down to South Philly to pick up my car. So I stopped at the Eagles store and thought of you, but of course I didn't warn you that I was coming. Peeps loves the Mets win card. I love the 1970 set. My favorite color is gray. I know that sounds bizarre and boring, but it is. And I think the 70 set is underrated. I certainly love the back of the 70s. I love the yellow and the blue. So yeah, call me a sucker, but I love this stuff. Harlan's here because of the hair thumbnail. My wife has, over the years, that was my LinkedIn picture at one point, but it's my Facebook profile picture now. My wife constantly yells at me to take it off there because her friends say, "Wow, what happened to John?" And it's all just trying to have fun, right? That was when I was practicing photos. I used to be a pretty good Photoshopper back in the day, about 15 years ago. So that was one of my better examples of photoshopping. Certainly better than the 69 tops for sure. Scott, I went home at lunch in 1967 to watch the World Series player introductions. 67 would have been, I wonder who that was. Yeah, Red Light, this is the collection I bought. I know you're tuning in a little late, but there's so much going on. There's a tub over there that's got every Phillies Daily News and Inquirer championship headline on it. There's a bunch of Beckett magazines in there. There's a bunch of vintage football magazines in there. Let me go get them. So this is, oh boy, I just saw something I should not have seen. And I'll show you guys in a second. 1969. This is great moments in pro football. And of course, this is what I saw. Mark Marinella. That's something you would do is color up your football helmets. Here's OJ in pink. I can only guess that somebody's little sister got a hold of this book. But it's got all sorts of fun stuff in it. Al Hurt, if you're into your jazz like Mark Hoyle is, Al Hurt, part owner of the New Orleans Saints, probably playing either the national anthem or taps, not sure. But anyway, man, they really went all out here. They even found a little C over there on the back of that helmet. Football Stars of 1969 with Broadway Joe on the front of that. Here's championship teams of the NFL. I'm wondering if these books were never returned to the library, but these are all from the late 60s. This is 1968, so the year I was born. So there's Bart Starr. Here is a book oddly titled Bart Starr. This is 60 cents if you wanted this book back in the day. 60 cents. Again, Bart Starr was probably the biggest football player in the country, right? 1967. Pro Football Heroes. There's Johnny U. Everything's colored in blue. And boy, Mark Hoyle, if you want it, let me know. Hockey Stars in 1972 with Phil Esposito on the cover. So that's fun. So yeah, there's some of the stuff in there, some stuff from Beckett. So again, it's kind of gives you a hint of what this collection had in it. Here's some more. Oops, get this out of here. These are Donruss, I think. Anyway, there's some old, I like this early 70s Donruss stuff. So that's pretty cool. And this was from one of the binders, but this is, of course, something that caught my eye, which is page after page of 1970 Topps football. So I have most of the set at this point. So these will go in, and we'll look at conditioning there, and it transitions from 70 to 71. So page after page of 71 Topps football, all in there. So I'll look at those conditions. These are kind of like the 71 was a tough year all around because Topps loved to mess with the borders in 71 or not have any borders, go full bleed on the borders. So 71 baseball we talk about, but 71 football, just as dicey. There's Dick Butkus, of course. Look at that checklist there, unblemished checklist, which is pretty darn special. Unfortunately for me, when I first saw this box, I went right for the 72s, and I looked at the backs, and there's no high numbers on the 72s, but we tried. 73, there's some 73s. I mean, it goes on and on and on. 73s, some 74s, and right up into the 90s as well. So a lot of vintage football in there. Certainly way excited about that. And fun. So let me keep going here. Oh, boy. So I got a box back here. So this box is stuff that I've kind of logged into Beckett already. And I've logged into Beckett that I need. So these are needs, and I have to assimilate this into my collection. Everything in here was something I needed, right? So I've shown you cards that conditional upgrades, stuff like that. But everything in here was stuff that I needed. So here's, check this out, right? So it looks like it's all boogered up, but it's not, because there was kind of a some sort of hybrid top loader made there. So I have that. I have to it's two half. There we go. Anyway, there's that. It had two half top loaders or card savers crammed together to make protection, and then in a regular top loader. So there's that. Love that, right? And here's an Earl Monroe, same thing. I'm not going to take it out of the three one card slavers / one top loader. So a bunch of these were in there. I don't know where the rest of them are right now. Here's some of baseball's wildest days and plays, which I guess these are Laughlin's. These are Laughlin's, but they're not like the World Series Laughlin's. So those were in there. The Fregosi curse. I don't know why Jim Fregosi's hanging out in the box of stuff that I needed, because I certainly didn't need him. This is kind of cool. This is the 93 Stadium Club members only. This guy was a member of the Stadium Club thing, and these were, I've picked up these individually through the years, but these are like the sets, and they were released in 4 series, and they're all 4 sports in there. And I mean, there's a Jordan in there, all that stuff, and it comes with a little certificate from the Stadium Club gang that says this is Joseph Jaworski, not related to Ron Jaworski, but Miami Avenue is in Lower Providence, PA, which was down the street from where I grew up. But it tells you these are the cards that are in there right now. And they did that for 4 series. And like I said, I've had these individually through the years in collections, but I've got the full-on thing right now. I know we're not too jazzed up about junk wax cards, but it's neat to have those for sure. And then there's a bunch other Stadium Club members only stuff in there. Members only. Some people still wear members only jackets. Not me. 100% oak tree, baby. Harlan sold me a bunch of 71 Topps coins, but here's 2 more to that collection. I have the entire 64, but 71 I was lacking a few, so I'm getting close there, Harlan. I know you're not staying up at night worried about it. Let's see here. Bunch of old vintage hockey from back in the day. The backs are cool. They got little hockey skates, all that stuff. Let's see what else. The heck is that? Let's see here. Here's some more vintage football. Somebody just said they were looking at these, right? Bob Greasy, all that stuff. Here's the glossies. So these are the glossy football ones. Dick Post, who was the predecessor to Dick Pohl. Let's see here. So Tommy Nobis, there's Johnny U in there. Bart Starr's in there. Jurgensen, Floyd Little, Len Dawson, Bob Greasy, all that stuff. So love these. Glossies, 70, I think. Mark Hoyle, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm wrong, probably. And here's some 69 football, a ton of 69 football in here. Black backs, which is a very unique thing. Not sure if anybody collects those, but it's fun seeing the different designs over the years. Here's a couple of the 70 Topps, 70 Kellogg's. My boy Lee out there in Chicago has given me a bunch of those over the past year or so. What else we got? So much junk wax in here, Zach. You'd love it. Let me see. I mean, a lot of junk wax. Yeah, too much junk wax. Oh, well, you know what? Let's run through this stuff. This was in another one of the Huggies, but a bunch of the 87, 88 Fleer, George Blanda, the 69. So these are some bangers in the 69. There's Joe Namath, Zonka, Unitas. Here is a 58 Frank Gifford. Pretty cool. Look at that. Nice 71 Joe Namath. Tarkenton, Blanda. More 71s. There's Greasy, Bob Greasy, Johnny U. These are a bunch of, let's see if we could do this. Watch out for my my manhood. But just a bunch of 70s. There's another OJ. There's another OJ rookie. I've got a ton of. I had a ton of them, but not anymore. I think I gave one to Tony, but all the guys and gals are there. Gail Sayers, Tarkenton, Dawson, Johnny U. There's Butkus, not around anymore, obviously. Fred Dreyer, he's Hunter on NBC. OJ, Ahmad Rashad, Bradshaw's, the 73s. Here's some more Kellogg's, Plunkett. More of this stuff. There's a Staubach, Willis Reed. Here we get into some nice little vintage hockey with Bobby Orr and Billy Smith, Ken Dryden, Guy Lafleur. There's another Bobby Orr, Esposito, Bobby Clark, Gordie Howe, my favorite favorite set, hockey set. And yeah, Julie. It never ends. Like I said, there's pretty much something for everybody in there. Just ran into a bunch of more 1987, 88 Fleers, basketball. Here's some, if you're here for the junk, here's some more junk. Mattingly. This is the worst set ever made. These Donruss special editions. You can't read anything. You can't read the numbers. They're worse than the Fleer Flare. Again, people done top loading Brian Harper's. But you'll find some Griffies in here. You won't find any Nolan Ryans because I believe I have every Nolan Ryan playing days Nolan Ryan ever made. And as you know, when you get to the end of his career, there's a lot of Nolan Ryan playing days cards. So some more Frank Thomas for the kids out there who like the Frank Thomas. So yeah, this is how the reason I have all these Frank Thomases out is because I blew out some of my Frank Thomas cards to a dear friend of mine in Wisconsin. So now I forgot which ones I had given him and then. So now I have to redo that and replenish my Frank Thomases. I forgot which ones I gave him. Look at that Ozzie Smith card. Pretty cool. Yeah, peeps, I don't have any. You know what? I lied to you. Out of all those cards in there, one of them, I'll see if I can find one of them is actually the 7071 OPG, but everything else in there is a 7071 tops. I think that's a brilliant set. I'm not a hockey guy like you are, but I love that design for sure. Oh, so yeah, that's about it, man. I'm going through, got all the junk wax I need. So I'm going through now. I have to update my vintage stuff here. Vintage, as we know, is 1980 and earlier. So I have to condition check that stuff. And I guess you're wondering why you're looking at my balls. Anyway, here I am. Yeah, I'll have to go through that. I do have a sitting right here. I have a gift for you and Zach, or you and Porter, Zach. I've got a couple things on here for you guys, so I'll be sending that out. Here's a complete post set. These are postcards from back in the day. When I say the day, I mean mid-afternoon. And yeah, just so much stuff. Got to figure out what's what. Then I got to put it in those boxes over there. Then I got to keep going. So anyway, that's that. And did I miss anything here? Let's see what I got here. 70 glossy. Yay, I got that. Cooter, how are you? How did I find the collection I bought? So I told this story a little bit in the beginning. And my LCS has stuff walk in. I was there once with Andrew from Page and Deanie Bean, and a 51 Bowman set walked in there with all the big boys in it. So you hang out long enough in my LCS, and stuff just walks through the door. And there was a bunch of bins and a box and some other stuff. And it's been there for months and months and months. The guy dropped it off to be wanted to know what the LCS owner would give him. Sat there forever, and finally the LCS owner bought it, and pretty cheaply. And I told him I'd give him X amount for it, which was like, boy, should I say this? Anyway, he bought it for $400. I told him I'd give $550, and then he wanted more, and then I said no, and he called me up. He said, "Come on in." The other day, he said, "Come on in, I want to talk to you." So he went in there, and he sweetened the pot considerably. He wanted to take a few cards out, but I wouldn't let him do that. So he sweetened the pot considerably, threw those exhibits in, and a bunch of other stuff that I wanted, a stack of cards that I've been looking at, stuff like that. So anyway, I got it for a good price, and he was not going to get rid of any of this stuff. It's not the kind of shop where people come in looking for 1970 tops football singles, or even 1970 OJ Simpsons. I'm sure you could sell that anywhere. But anyway, he was kind of happy to get it out of there, and I was happy too, because, like I said, I can work on my my junk wax sets and all that, and not have to go scavenge for them. So that's how I ended up with that set. Didn't plan on buying it so soon, but as you know, I preach opportunity, and the opportunity presented itself. I'm trying to look for, there's something else I'm looking for. It's got a bunch of the tops, like the 70 scratch offs in it and stuff like that. So I don't know where that binder went, but anyway, I got binders galore here. And Cooter, I even have a present for you right here. This is all I'm going to show you. So I got a present coming your way. So anyway, yeah, that's how I ended up with it. And again, you try to convince this guy that you're not going to sell that stuff, or you're not going to get your money back and all that stuff. But for every dollar I spend on this, the perceived value will be considerable. I guesstimate it'll be probably 7 to 10x what I paid into my collection. But more importantly, it's it's putting a lot more. It's just filling out my collection more, which is all I care about. So that makes me happy. No Staubach rookie in there. No Staubach. I had a bunch of those, but no Staubach in there, Dan. I don't think so. I should go back and look. But I have. There was a time when I had 3 or 4 of them. I bought a pretty big vintage collection from a friend of mine, and some of those here will know that one day my eBay store was just loaded with a whole bunch of late 60s, I guess 60s and 70s football bangers, several OJ rookies, several Roger Staubach rookies, all that stuff. So 73, yes. There was a Bradshaw in there, but there's not a Staubach. So yeah. Everybody's here. You guys are the best. Mike Petty. I have all the junk wax I need to. It's all where it belongs, the landfill. I traded, many people know this. I traded 150,000 of my junk wax cards about 3 weeks ago. So happy to see those go as well. When are you going to catalog on TCDB and Lee Beckett? Boy, that is more prophetic than you think, because I'm not too happy with Beckett right now, especially with I'm finding cards on TCDB that I'm not finding on Beckett. I don't think Beckett should have any excuse for being as crappy as they are in the baseball card database field. So not having fun at Beckett. I've thought about TCDB. I can't figure it out. Beckett's hard enough to figure out, but maybe I will. I don't know how Andrew's doing. Zach, he hasn't done anything in a while, so I'm not sure. He hasn't been letting me know what's going on, but I think he just put a video out as well. Yep, we got some Johnny Bench and we got some Pete Rose red light. There's plenty in there. Sorry that you didn't see that, but that's in there. And there's some Pete Roses. Pete Roses is in there. That one's got a crease. So I got lots. I didn't expect any vintage baseball in there. And I think I proclaimed that early on in my discovery. And boy, little did I know when I found, again, Huggy box number 19, that there'd be a boatload of vintage baseball in there. And one of the binders too. So I'm not as bright as I think I am. 72 tops, high numbers. There's no 72s. There's plenty of 71s in there. Sorry that you're almost done 72. That's great because it's a brutal set. That's for sure. So that's that. The Eagles are playing tonight. We've been on for 48 minutes. Eagles are on tonight. We'll see what happens. Anybody have any questions? Anybody want to pop on? Anybody want to tell me to go pound sand, as they say? Let's see here. I'll do the invite one more time. It never works, but I'll do the invite one more time. Happy to chat. Somebody's coming downstairs. Shh, Mom's coming. I'll show you what else I got. I'm going to show you what Mark Hoyle's Christmas present is. Hold on, stepping on binders. All right, we're back. So first of all, I got these ornaments, which are kind of tacky but cool, right? So there was a time when these were probably revolutionary in the Christmas ornament field. There's a Babe Ruth. These are like $15 retail, it says. Well, it says on the back. And satchel. So here's Gretzky. So I mean, I don't know about you folks, but I certainly don't have the cojones to ask my wife if I can hang a Babe Ruth ornament on the tree. So Mark Hoyle, cover your ears, eyes, and rear end. This glove right here is a Pete Runnels Wilson mitt from the 1950s. So this is going off this week to Mark Hoyle. Wilson, pretty wild stuff here, right here, man. I can't understand how these guys played. Unless the baseballs were so small, I just don't understand how these fellas played. So this was part of that collection as well. And I kept putting this to the side, not knowing what it was. But then I looked at the name and Pete Runnels, and I thought that was pretty cool. So there's an authentic, as a kid, that's what you'd buy, a Wilson Pete Runnels model. So that's it there. That's going up to somewhere in Massachusetts, because Pete Runnels wasn't an impossible dreamer, but he was a Boston Red Sox. So let's get that into a real collector's hands. So that's what that mitt is there. Drew's having a bad hair day. That happens out there on in Indian territory, I hear. So I hope that gets better for you. That's about it. I don't know what else to show. Wait a second. I got some more. Again, some more. I just love this stuff, folks. More hockey from back in the day. Here's the hockey booklets. I'm dangerously close to filling up the hockey booklet set, which is crazy. Some more of these 70s, 71s. Here's the OPG peeps, if you're still with me. It's in French and English, and more vintage hockey, more vintage basketball. Tell me this set wasn't great. How is Red Robins? Dude needs to eat a pizza. How is that Utah Stars card not one of the greatest cards ever made, right? Look at that. So have plenty of those. Some more tall boys. Here's a Billy Cunningham. That's a pretty cool tall boy right there. More of that stuff. More hockey. Just some great stuff. So anyway, very fortunate that I'm fortunate that not a lot of people collect this stuff, because it means that I get to get it for fairly cheap. So again, I'm not a huge hockey fan, but I'm a great admirer of the times, the 70s, as well as the designs of the cards, which I think hockey cards were well designed. I think basketball cards were well designed. Some of the pictures weren't great, but I certainly think that Al Smith, how do you not like that Pittsburgh Penguins card? That's some crazy stuff right there. So big fan of the designs. If you don't love the sport, as they say, salute the rank, don't salute the man. And I think that there's some really great stuff out there. So anyway, it's fun to appreciate that, and glad that not a lot of people do or put a huge premium on it, for sure. Other than the 72 Topps high numbers, it's relatively cheap to collect a lot of these old cards from the 70s and 60s, regardless of the sport. So, I want to show this off, Mark Hoyle, if you're still here. This was the eBay purchase that Mark turned me on to. Narragansett. Yes, this is the year, folks. Okay. So if you didn't know, this is the year. This was the 1967 schedule, and Narragansett Brewing Company. Look at all the full schedules in there. It's got a nice little Fenway Park map, and as well as the Baseball Network. This used to be a thing, right? I was coming home from Blacksburg a while back, I guess in September, because I was at a football game, and I was trying to figure out what the radio network was for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I couldn't find it because I guess there's no radio network. So anyway, we're going to have Mark Hoyle jump in. What's up, Mark? How are you, man?
I got to put it with my Vern Stevens.
Is that a Wilson as well? It'll say it on the hooch right here. No? What's it say up here, Mark?
I got nothing on here.
All right. Well, all we need is a ball, and you and I are set, man.
We can throw. It's a little far to throw it, but we'll do it.
What position was Runnels? He was a middle infielder, I guess.
Yeah. He played a lot of second base. Stevens was at short.
Short. Wow, that's crazy, man. Yeah, that's fun. Hopefully you enjoy it, because it's like I got my Yaz mid over there. I'm waiting for somebody to ask me to have a catch, and nobody's asked me to have a catch. But this is painful. Is your pinky fingers like jammed up with stuff in there, right? There's so much padding in this.
I can get in here pretty good.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
I got a Williams one up on the shelf, but
do you?
Yeah.
He he threw right-handed, right? Williams?
Yeah.
Okay. As did Yaz, right? It's good times, man. How you doing? Everything good?
Yeah. I was down in my office listening. I just moved up to my room upstairs. My wife's downstairs now, so.
How long did it take you to get upstairs?
I can move. I can truck around now. I'm doing good.
Did you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, I finally came today, man.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
The price on that was was awesome.
$11 or whatever, right?
Yeah, they usually go for 4 times that.
Yeah, I got to put that in a card saver. So that'll go up there with all the stuff back there. I got to take out like the regular issue cards at this point because there's just so much cool stuff, so much Yaz oddball stuff, man.
I stuck all mine on. I don't know if you can see it. I put it on the poster.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man. What's that thing on your window right there? Is that a seat cushion or something?
I bought it at a show. It's a homemade tray, and they made it for the '67 team, and it's signed by like 20 guys.
Oh wow!
But it's homemade. But the autos are good. I know because I have them all. But
do you figure this out for me, man? I still haven't figured that out. I know you gave me 3 options. You said
how many questions are on it?
Just 2, but it's not showing up in Beckett. And again, that's why I'm getting frustrated with Beckett.
The 70.
70. Because the only one in Beckett says 72, or whatever it is, and it says 3 questions, and that's the Red Sox logo, though, right?
Yeah, that's the White Sox.
It's a White Sox because I thought I've seen that in the Red Sox. It makes no sense.
Those they put that style out 3 years.
It's Fleer, right? Yep.
Yeah. The 2 question ones was 70, 69 and 71 had 3 questions.
Gotcha.
But
you guys,
some of them have 3 questions, but they're different from card to card. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
When was the first World Series, Mark Well?
03.
Who hit the first World Series home run, Mark Well?
I have no idea.
Do you know what team? What are the teams in the first World Series?
Sox and the Pirates.
Was it wasn't the Red? Were they the Red Sox then?
Yeah. I don't know what they were calling them,
but Jimmy Sebring for Pittsburgh in 1903. When were they the Bean Eaters, or was that the Braves?
It's the Braves.
Okay, gotcha. I'm failing on all my trivia. Part of this collection, by the way, this might have put me over the edge, was a cassette, an audio cassette that has trivia time. It's got salutes, stats, and sound effects from the world of sports. So if anybody wants that, let me know. I'll make sure that gets in your hands. Hopefully,
that's a cassette,
dude. It's a cassette that's wrapped. It's never been opened. I should get this slabbed. 1995. I'm gonna get that slabbed.
Yeah, I would get it graded.
What else you got going on there, man? You been buying anything? I guess you haven't. When you were laid up, were you on eBay a lot?
I was, but I had strict orders from my wife. You are not going to sit on there and buy things all day long as you're sitting home rehabbing.
Because I was going to say that's a deadly thing, especially if you have some pain meds going through your system. Man.
But I got I showed this the other night when I was on with Bo. But my plumber collects cards. He found this scrapbook at an antique store, and it's all 1967 Red Sox.
It's crazy. Had you seen that before?
No, never saw it.
Oh, that's nuts, man.
The person who made it, that's from a program that year.
Right, it's a scrapbook kind of thing. So all of that is a scrapbook.
It's all a scrapbook. They cut apart the magazine.
And how much? Oh, look at that, beautiful man. That's Life magazine right there, right?
Yeah.
What
he paid $20 for it.
Are there any pictures you haven't seen in there?
There's a few. There's some cool things at the end. Like one must have been in the Globe, one per day. Like meet your Red Sox, and it goes through the whole team. Like the whole set's in here.
Wow, that's impressive. Hold on a second. One of the callers wants to see my cassette tape, I think. Is that good for you, Zach? Is that what you want? You like that? I get you a little Randy, huh? Turn the lights down, call the wife in, put some trivia time on with sound effects and stats. Boy. Yeah, man. I got a big old mountain to dig myself out of with all this stuff.
That's a fun. No.
Yeah, it's weird because I think there's nothing from the 50s, right? But there's just a lot of stuff. Well, I guess some of the exhibits are from the 50s, but just everything, right? All 4 major sports. There's even some golf stuff in there. I haven't gotten to some of it, but I'm going to need to redecorate again because I'm running out of room. I tried to pop some stuff in the 94 box there, but 94 box is filled with stuff. So I'm kind of screwed. So
Yeah, my next round of rehab, which is going to start January 4th, I got to do some rearranging here because I have no more room.
Did you say no more or no more?
A little of both, I guess.
When are you going under again, if you don't mind me?
January 3rd.
Oh, your next round of rehab. I thought you were continuing your existing rehab, but
Well, yeah, that's going to go for another couple of weeks.
gotcha.
And the 3rd, I'm going under the knife again for the other knee. Then I got another whatever it takes, 2 months.
You think you'll be up in the second floor quicker this time?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Little learning curve to what not to do and what to do.
Yeah. What are you looking at, Zach? What are you asking me to flash? Is it the baseball quiz one? It's not a sticker. It's either 70, 71, or 72 Fleer. It's a 2-question one, though. So not a sticker, and it's a White Sox, obviously.
They came with stickers, though. Those came with the decals. That's how they stiffened up the packs with those.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to think if I have any of those decals. I can't recall.
Here's the exhibit that you need.
Why did you do that to me, Mark?
You
You say you don't see those anywhere anymore, right?
Yeah, I don't see them even at shows up here. You don't see it.
That's crazy, man. It's crazy. There's yeah. I don't look for them, but I will now. I mean, hopefully, hey Scott, Stuke, if you're out there, if you see any Yaz exhibits, let me know, man. I need some. Apparently, Orlando has crossed over into 2,000 subs, which is awesome. So congrats to Orlando. He's one of the good guys of the hobby, that's for sure.
I have 5 or 6 subs, and I don't even have a channel yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, when are you going to start that up? You changed your name, right?
Yeah, I did. That was a start. Picker Jim's been after me every time we hook up.
Will you guys have closed captioning so that people can understand you when you talk, or are you just going to try to go?
Yeah, I'm going to talk like Eckersley and use all his language plus my accent. It'll really screw people up.
All right. You know what I call people that like catchers, Mark? Do you remember that?
I forgot.
Freaky Deeks, right?
Yeah.
There we go, right there.
Who we got?
Drew. That's Drew in Nebraska. Oh man, you got dude. Whose mitt is that?
I thought we were going to play catch. I've never seen John throw before.
You got 3 fingers, man. I think you got ripped off. I don't know what you paid for that mitt, but you only got 3 fingers in that thing.
Drew, where are you at? Where you live?
He can't hear. He's in the catcher's mask. He's in Nebraska.
Oh God, that's a long throw, man.
So if you
have Cooter can be the cutoff.
Cooter's the relay guy, right?
Well, actually, I think the states are the other way around.
Well, every time I send something to Cooter, it goes to Oregon or Hawaii first, so we can't throw anything to him.
I don't know anything about these gloves. I thought I'd ask you while I was sitting here.
What's it say on it?
I can't read it because I don't have my glasses on now.
Well, I can't read it.
My mask
it says Wilson on it, I think. I think I see a Wilson. Now, what's it say on the pinky?
Let's see if I can make this work.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Who was it? Did Steve Yeager wear glasses behind the plate, or was that Joe Ferguson? One of those 2 guys wore glasses back then.
Yeah, this is only a 3-finger glove, so.
I'm telling you, well, you guys, it's like Mickey Mouse, right?
Yeah.
We used to, when you were playing ball, did you ever accidentally, I used to jam my fingers in, sometimes I'd have 2 fingers. Well, never mind. Sometimes I would overextend the amount of fingers I can have in one of the pockets of my glove accidentally.
I just put this thing together. Started.
Oh, look at that, man.
It's just, these are all the extras, just all 67 guys.
What's the deal with 32? Is that Tony C? Who was 32?
That was given out at Elston Howard Day.
Elston Howard. Okay. I was going to say the pinstripes threw me off.
But
he was an impossible dreamer, right?
Yeah. He didn't do much, but he was good leadership kind of dude.
Did you see Drew's stuff with Eddie Watt? Did you see any of that, Mark?
No.
He had an interview, a 4-part interview with Eddie Watt, which was pretty great.
Old Baltimore legend, right?
Yeah.
That was fun.
Tried to get him to bite on the best third baseman thing, but Eddie was pretty adamant about Brooks Robinson. So I
Yeah,
guess
he was.
Check it out. That's cool.
Steve Yeager also famous for the neck plate, right? Got stabbed in the neck with a broken bat, so he came up with that neck protection. So Steve
Yeah.
Yeager, he's got a lot going on, man. Glasses, the last vintage card, all sorts of stuff, man.
Did he win the MVP for the World Series? Was he co-MVP or something?
So that 81 it would have to have been, right?
I think so.
Because that's the only time they won back then, except for later on with Kirk Gibson. But I don't know. That's a good question. Those Dodgers, man, had some good players and they had some chumps like this.
That's a great card. I made sure it was cracked before I sent it.
It was a perfect 10 before you picked it up and crumpled it. Oh man, Steve Garvey's gonna haunt me.
I probably had that since I was a kid, and I finally found a good home for it.
There you go, Drew. Orlando like the Rosenbag story.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? That's like I don't think you can get away with that stuff these days, right?
No.
Like him saying his manager was bowled over laughing in the dugout. I think like that's what makes it so great. So
I love it. The end. He said, "I smoked the priest."
smoked a priest. All right, we got somebody chiming in here again from Indian Territory. Look at that,
Here we
man.
go.
Hey,
There we
Cooter's
go.
got that.
There.
He's got that thing broken in, man.
He's ready.
Let me guess.
So imagine 20 years from now in a nursing home, there's going to be four of us mooks walking around with our 1940 gloves. Go to the bathroom, you can put it in your back pocket, right? Or I guess you could just leave it out in the field, right? They used to. When did they stop throwing the gloves out in the field? Do you think? Because I know Richie Ashburn did that.
Early 50s, maybe?
Yeah.
Cooter, what's that? Bobby Thompson glove? What do you got?
Actually, it's Hank Thompson, third base,
Hank
Nice.
Thompson, man.
There you go.
Oklahoma City.
What's it say in the heel there in the white?
Dinkirk. It's a great shape. It was my brother's.
Oh wow, that's cool, man.
So yeah.
What's up? Come on down, dude. You all right?
Yeah, Sean called. He was asking to talk to you.
All right. I'll call him in a bit.
Okay, he's on a podcast right now. Can he call you?
Sorry about that. Apparently, I'm IT. I have to fix somebody's IT somewhere in Philadelphia. Apparently, that's what that call was. So,
There is
man,
a stamp on here that says A2170. I don't know if that means anything. That would help.
let's see what mine says. Mine's got some.
And I can't read what this says. And
Mine says 2980. I don't know whether that's like a style or what.
I think it says
Wilson. It says Wilson.
Well, above Wilson though, in the pocket, it says like professional or something.
Oh, really? Yeah, mine says Wilson, and it's got the model number in there, and Pete Runnels, and then it says Ball Hawk. This is a Ball Hawk glove. It says it right there. So
I think that's what Ted's Williams gloves said, the ones I have.
Oh, did it really? And those would have been Wilson's as well, I guess.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There's the Teddy.
Oh, you know what? I see it in the heel too, or the. Oh, now I got to put my glasses on.
So this is a Teddy right here.
Is it?
Yeah. So yeah, it's a Wilson. I don't see the stamp.
It drew. It says grip tight pocket. It's exactly what I called my first wife.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to
got
mute
Ball
it.
Hawk here.
Ball Hawk.
That glove's in great shape.
That is in good shape. Sorry about that, Drew. I didn't mean
Yeah, I had to use the restroom before I got on. Now I gotta go.
that.
I got a
Cream on the lip. My daughter's doing her chemistry homework. Hi, Wuppet. And so she's probably losing it right about now.
Yeah.
She's
Wow. You hear what Dan said? Dan said 4 MVPs in 1981.
who we got now?
Vintage is a rolling time frame. Oh boy. Somebody's not getting a shirt from me if you say vintage is a rolling time frame.
boo.
I already have a shirt.
Yeah.
Oh
Wore it
man.
to my first ever national.
Mark Hoyle disagrees with me, but that's all right. He's allowed
No,
to.
I mean,
he knows
it's-
more.
You know,
It's the
that's-
perfect.
Wait,
It's
Mark
the
doesn't.
perfect
Mark
delineation.
thinks it's like antiques. It's a rolling.
No.
Hmm.
They only think that in Wisconsin.
80's a good one, a good year to delineate it.
Yeah, I just say that obviously because of Fleer and Don Ross and factory sets.
I
and
had
all that
your
stuff.
I had your
Who's Don
pre-war
Ross?
shirt on Amy the other day when I was on with Dan.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right, I can get you one of the 1981s, Mark. I know a guy.
All right, I'll take
I
it.
know you're a holdout. Who's what there, Zach?
I was wondering who Don Ross was. You mentioned Don Ross.
Don Ross. Don Ross. Don Ross to me, Don Ross means early 70s crazy cards, like cartoon cards. Above my shoulder there, if you look right above my ear, where is it over here? That's a rack pack of 1978 Kiss cards from Donruss. So good stuff, man.
Ink dots.
What's that?
Are they ink dot kiss cards or
Let's see. No dots.
Drew? I wanted to compliment you on that interview series you did. That's pretty awesome. Are you doing
Thank
more of those?
Yeah, I've sent a few. I've made a couple phone calls, so we'll see. We'll see. Thank you.
I loved Kiss and Carl Yastrzemski. Who'd have thought I'd be the success I am today that was my jam, Kiss and Carl Yastrzemski.
Matt, when Tyrus gets older, maybe you can explain the redhead story.
Shoot. I got so much stuff I need to get to you, Zach. But I was talking to Mark the other day. One of the things I wanted to send you, I can't find.
You got something I bet Mark doesn't have.
What's that? A good knee?
Porter opened up some holiday yesterday, and he got this. Let me see. Raphael Devers.
I don't
Ornament.
know. I have a box right here that a buddy sent me to open when I'm doing rehab. So I might get one. I don't know.
Yeah, Zach.
That's our favorite. That and archives. Holiday's actually kind of cool. I like it.
Zach, when he said you had something that Mark didn't have, I say what? Empty shelf.
What's that?
I said something that Mark doesn't have, empty shelf space.
That's true. That was Devers, right? On that little ornament.
Yeah.
No.
And Zach, I got a stack here for you as well. I just haven't put it in the mail yet.
Mark said
Not you.
Mark said he's such a good carpenter he can take his walls down at any time, but he hasn't taken his walls down yet. And I think he's all talk.
Well, I built this second floor as one huge room,
right,
with a big beam down the middle, so I could make it a big master suite.
And
that ain't happening now. I'm too friggin' old to do that. Plus, I built this. I already built this room out. I have to take it apart.
That'd be fun, man. You don't have to take out one wall, right? Take off one wall, and then you could redo it, man.
Yeah, I could.
Some of us are fortunate enough to have seen Mark Hoyle circa 1978 to 85. He was the inspiration for Chuck Norris.
He was?
Mark could do whatever he wanted to do, and the permit.
The
permit let him do what he wanted to do.
I've seen that picture. Yeah.
Yeah. The all Mark days.
I never looked like that, dude. So
the Hulk.
I think I was like 25. It was a different time.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm gonna run. I just thought I'd come out here since you called for a relay through Oklahoma.
And you know what? One guy didn't show up with his glove. You know, it's the junk wax era war generation. No gloves, I guess.
We're more into
Edgar Martinez of this stream, man.
We're more into e-games, John.
Yeah, you could have claimed to be Herb Washington, but ooh.
I got to get going too. So thanks for letting me.
All right, everybody. Hey, thanks for stopping by, everybody. I'm going to go.
Yep.
We're going to go Eagles. And Don finally showed up so we can leave. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Talk to you all later. Later, guys. Bye.
Yeah.